On the program today, Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority asks airline operators to adjust operations as scarcity of Jet A1 bites harder. Nigerian Airspace Management Agency trains personnel on aeronautical information service automation. Plus, relatives of Malaysian Airlines mishap threaten legal action. Hello and welcome to your #1 aviation program, Flight 101. I'm Lillian Izamak. Flight time is 30 minutes. Fasten your seatbelts, relax. Let's enjoy the trip. Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority has asked airline operators to adjust operations in line with the availability of fuel. Spokesman of the regulatory body, Sam Adurogboe, said that is the only way the operators can contain the situation. Adurogboe met the snow in Lagos. Aviation fuel scarcity continues to hit airlines harder as they delay, merge and cancel flights. Their passengers remain at the receiving end.
They can delay flight for 2 hours, for 3 hours, all of the airlines, not only that one. And I think we have value. They should respect our value. They should respect us. We all have reasons why we are traveling.
The problem is that the fuels are in short supply, the aviation fuel. Why is it in short supply? Because it's being imported. And of course, the marketers have to equally source for foreign exchange to import those products. And as a result of the current trend that we are in economically.
The airlines are also counting their losses.
So 2 months ago, Jet A1 was sold for 105 to 110. Today, as I'm talking to you, it has gone between 170 to 200. So some of them are importing fuel at a very high price because wherever they get the dollar, that is what they will sell to us. So we can reason with some of them. Some of them are even talking to third party, getting fuel at their reserve in July, where they will not have their own top-up. It makes it difficult for us to bring our aircraft. Most aircraft that we do C-check or run Cs in 4 weeks, we run for 3 months, so it keeps you out of market. You have to source the money locally to bring the airplane in. It makes some of us, again, to cut down on our routes. Then it has to be forced to increase your fare. And who bear the brunt? The customers.
But Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority says it is working with the airlines to resolve the issue.
The airlines are directed to cut down their operations. If you are not going to have enough fuel to run 10 flights, just cut down to the level you can manage when you have fuel for. And if you have sold tickets to passengers before this issue cropped up, then of course get across to the passengers on time. Don't allow them to get to the airport only to be stranded. If you know you don't have fuel for a particular flight, why will you sell ticket for that flight? And if you have sold ticket before it happened, then get across to them. There is nobody that buy a ticket without their contact with the carrier. You have the contact, be it email or telephone. Then of course it's very easy these days to do a bulk SMS and get across to everybody.
The airline operators agreed that supply hiccups and infrastructural challenges facing marketers are some of the key factors responsible for the scarcity of aviation fuel.
The government is working on the possibility of having a local refinery to start refining more of these products. As soon as we have the local refinery refining the aviation fuel, Jet A1, then of course it's going to ameliorate this reliance on importation of Jet A1 fuel. So I think that is our hope.
One operator, Arik Airlines, has confirmed that it is grappling with flight schedule disruptions due to severe scarcity of aviation fuel across the country. The airline hinted that it operates an average of 120 flights daily, requiring about 500,000 liters of fuel daily, and was hit by the problem. While the federal government and oil marketers are said to be working to address the supply and distribution challenges, it is hoped that the situation would improve soon. Meanwhile, most foreign airlines operating in Nigeria are having smooth operations as they usually refuel either from their home countries or neighboring countries where the Jet A1 is cheaper compared to Nigeria.
A liter of Jet A1, which costs 170 naira or $0.58 in Nigeria, sells at $1 per gallon in the US and in the UK about $2 per gallon. An industry expert said foreign airlines servicing Nigeria do fuel hedging and so are not affected because they do not source their fuel in the country. A Boeing 737 has enough fuel to last up to 5 to 7 hours and the aircraft does not land anywhere. John Ojikutu, a member of Aviation Roundtable, also said most of the airlines could refuel from their home countries and that there are some that source fuel in Nigeria, especially for their return journey.
Nigerian Airspace Management Agency has embarked on training of various categories of personnel in preparation for the commencement of aeronautical information service automation. The agency also said the move would ensure the building of adequate capacity needed for its deployment.
Acting Managing Director, Nigerian Airspace Management Agency, Ima Anasi, says the operators' training are critical components of the Aeronautical Information Service Automation Project targeted at giving trainees the needed exposure to handle the complex situations associated with the project, adding that upon their return, they are expected to drive down the process by training others. The NAMA boss said the agency engaged in the training in Germany to ensure speedy completion of the Aeronautic Information Service Automation Project in view of the ongoing global migration from terrestrial-based navigation to satellite-based navigation.
Now international stories. Cockpit voice recorder of crashed Egypt Air reveals more information. Plus, relatives of Malaysian air mishap threaten legal action. An Egyptian-led investigative committee says the word fire was heard on the cockpit voice recorder of the doomed Egypt Air before the plane crashed into the Mediterranean in May.
Investigators had earlier said the other black box retrieved from the crash site, the data recorder, confirmed that smoke alarms had sounded on board, while soot on wreckage indicates a fire. The committee had also stated that it is too early to determine the reason or the place where the fire started. According to the committee, the data recorder points to smoke signals indicating fires in the lavatory and avionics section of the plane. The data on the voice recorder had been downloaded earlier this month after it was repaired. The Airbus A320 was carrying 40 Egyptians, 15 French, 2 Iraqis and 2 Canadians. Others are 1 passenger each from Algeria, Belgium, Britain, Chad, Portugal, Saudi Arabia and Sudan. It had set off from Paris to Cairo when it disappeared from radar over the Mediterranean. Egyptian investigators have confirmed the aircraft made a 90-degree left turn, followed by a 360-degree turn to the right before hitting the sea. The latest committee statement said the search for the remains of passengers has ended. Both Egyptian and French judiciary have opened investigations into the mysterious incident without ruling out terrorist attack. The crash followed the bombing of a Russian passenger plane over Egypt's restive Sinai Peninsula last October, killing all 224 passengers and crew. Egypt Air said that advance compensation payments of $25,000 will be offered to families of the 66 people killed in the crash. The payments are separate to those expected from insurance companies on behalf of various parties, depending on the investigation into the disaster.
Relatives of 298 people who died when flight MH17 was downed over Ukraine are threatening legal battles on the eve of the tragedy's second anniversary.
It's already the deadline for the relatives to launch action against Malaysia Airlines, which operated the passenger jet that was shot down with a surface air missile over Ukraine on July 17, 2014. The Boeing 777 was on a routine flight between Amsterdam and Kuala Lumpur when it was hit by a Russian-made missile fired from territory held by pro-Russian separatists. Reports said that dozens of Dutch relatives are close to filing a lawsuit if negotiations fail to secure compensation for psychological trauma. A 1999 convention allows bereaved families to launch claims against airlines for up to 2 years, but psychological trauma does not qualify. The ailing Malaysian national carrier is already facing a legal challenge by families of 6 crew members who are blaming the airline for the tragedy. Meanwhile, relatives of people aboard the missing Malaysia Airlines flight MH370 urged governments to step up the hunt for the aircraft a day before a meeting where ministers could decide to call off the search. Malaysian, Chinese and Australian ministers met in Kuala Lumpur to discuss the future of the search for MH370, which disappeared during a flight from the Malaysian capital to Beijing in March 2014, carrying 239 people. Almost $135 million has been spent on an underwater search in the southern Indian Ocean, the most expensive in aviation history.